Welcome to episode 3 of One Stage at a Time, the podcast where we go through a video game one stage at a time, one episode at a time. I'm Andy Prim.
And I'm Aaron Neeson.
And today we're looking at stage 1-3 of Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So Aaron, what did you think of stage 1-3 of Super Mario Brothers?
I have many thoughts on stage 1-3 of Super Mario Brothers. First off, we get back to the theme, the
overworld theme.
The overworld theme.
Yeah.
We get back to that, which is it's a simple return to the same music, which is fine, especially for a limited programming capable system.
There's really only 3 tracks in this game.
Yeah, there aren't many. And
we've heard 2 of them so far.
Yeah, and that's fine. And it was a return to form for the game, and it worked well. Because you come back up. It's the same world. It's a different stage on the same world. So you come back up from the pipes from underground, and here you are back in the same world. As you said, we'll come to it, but for the next world, it's still the same music.
Yeah. There's really only 3 tracks in this game. There's the overworld, the underground, and we haven't heard it yet, but the castle theme, which we'll hear in the next stage.
Yes. So, it's good music. It's perfectly fit for the gameplay. It might get tiring as we go on. We'll see, though. We'll see.
It is. I mean, we were just praising Koji Kondo's compositions in the last episode. But
it's great. It's great music. But if you hear the same song over and over and over and over and over again, it gets a little tiring.
It is somewhat repetitive, yeah. And that's kind of par for the course for NES games. Most NES games didn't have that many themes, really. I mean,
most games.
It's like, the Mega Man games, they were kind of famous for each stage would have its own theme. But that was a lot for that time period. Most games really didn't have that many songs.
No, and I mean, like you have to remember it in context. So I have to keep that in mind because there are different standards for games these days. But back then, there was one music track
or none. Yeah, a lot of games didn't have any music.
Yeah. So I mean, this is it. It's great. I'm not complaining. It was just interesting to see that it comes back to the same theme over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, we're starting to see that. Yeah, there will be some repetition in this game.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that this is the first example of what's known as an athletic stage. Stages in Super Mario Brothers are kind of divided into 4 categories. You've got your overworld stages, your underground stages, athletic stages, and then the castle stages.
Okay, so what is the definition of an athletic stage?
So 1-3 kind of takes place up in the sky, so to speak. We're jumping on these giant mushroom-type platforms. Mm-hmm. We've got some floating
They remind me of
those
African plants, those African trees.
Oh, the baobab trees?
Yeah.
Oh, I love those things. Yeah. It's kind of like that. So we're kind of up in the air, lots of bottomless pits everywhere.
Yes.
So a stage like this where we're sort of suspended with these mushroom and floating platform type obstacles, these are what we call the athletic stages.
Interesting. Okay, so athletic stages are basically stages that don't have a floor.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, interesting.
And this is we kind of see the same thing happen in later games, like in Super Mario Brothers 3 or Super Mario World. In Super Mario World, there's even, or I guess it was Super Mario Brothers 3, there's an athletic theme. There's not a different one for athletic stages in this game, but it's definitely like kind of a sort of a motif that Nintendo comes back to.
Yeah, you see them in the 3D ones too.
Oh yeah,
like Super Mario 64. Almost every pre-Bowser stage I would define as an athletic stage,
for sure. And stages like Rainbow Ride are very athletic.
Yes.
Tick-tock clock.
Yes, and Super Mario Sunshine. Every stage where they take away your water pack. Baby Bowser or their Shadow Mario for a while in the
right,
stage.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Sorry. Every stage like that is an athletic stage.
For sure. Yeah.
And they're very challenging. and so is this one.
I think it's fair to say this is the most challenging stage so far.
Yes. I would say
that's the 3.
I would agree with that. Definitely.
Also the shortest stage so far. Yeah.
Is it? I mean, as far as
Easily.
like technical length.
Yeah, in terms of like frames and like number of screens, easily the shortest stage
Okay,
so
so I
far.
was gonna say, because I spent more time on this stage than I have on any so far.
Oh, yeah.
I died 3 times, folks. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Hey, you're not the only one, buddy. This is it's definitely a ramp up in difficulty. Nintendo's showing you that like it's not all fun and games.
But it's supposed to be fun in games. Play the game for fun. Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely they definitely take it up a notch, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You want to weed out the the casuals, right?
Yeah, we're getting a bit of a challenge here. How can you eat your pudding if you don't eat your meat? Of course, a lot of us would have skipped over this stage by taking the warp zone in 1-2. I know I did.
Yes, I can't recall. I can't recall how many times I've played through this stage. Simply because I haven't played through it very much, I jump ahead.
Yeah,
Stage 2. Yeah, 1-2. You go to the warp zone and you skip this one and a bunch others.
Now, I will say, despite its difficulty, I probably would say this is my favorite stage of World 1.
Oh, yeah?
And I would say that because it's kind of fantastical. I like the mushroom platforms. I like that we're suspended in the air. The first 2 stages are relatively grounded. I mean, yeah, we're fighting like living mushrooms and turtles and things like that. But like
treacherous mushrooms.
and we're like shooting fireballs, but like, yeah, this one it's kind of like a fantasy stage in a way. I mean, the design is more unique. It's not just like a typical like clouds and shrubs kind of thing. We have like a more creative take on the aesthetic.
Yes, I would agree. And there's 0 pipes.
0 pipes. Yeah,
0 pipes
that's
in
true.
this one. They didn't build the plumbing out up into the sky, apparently. Those Mushroom Kingdom contractors.
So should we get into stats for this level?
Lay some stats on me.
Here we come with the stats. Coins for this level, very few actually. 22 coins in this stage.
Yeah, no 1-ups for you.
No 1-ups at all. Yeah, there's 0 1-up mushrooms, 0 starmen, a single power-up. Just the one.
It's the mushroom/fireflower.
Mushroom/fireflower, yeah. So that's it. They're definitely ramping the difficulty up in this stage. Even though it's relatively short, we've got some tricky jumps here. You're going to have to make some running jumps. Mm-hmm. We haven't really talked about the controls very much.
No, we haven't, because they're very intuitive and they're very simple, but you can do a lot with them. You can press B to use your power up if you have a fire flower. You can A is jump, hold down B to run, and then also you can change direction in the air. But the physics are surprisingly in depth. Like your momentum will change how well you can change in the air, how quickly you can change direction in the air, and how effective that is, which is really interesting. It's a very in my mind, it might be simple to code, but in my mind, it seems like a very complex thing to have in your game, especially in a game on a system as, I don't want to say not powerful, but as not powerful as this one, because this is an old system. It's from the 80s.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think you're right. I think that like probably it's one of those things I suspect that's simple to code, but very difficult to get to where it feels natural and smooth.
Yeah, and it does in this game. It definitely does, even though it killed me several times.
It'll happen.
Yes,
I love the sense of momentum that Mario has. I love that the faster you run, the higher you jump. And this stage really makes you do that. Is that
true?
It's absolutely true. To make some of these jumps, you really have to be at speed to get up to some of these platforms.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to look that up. I don't believe you. I think that Mario has a set jump height.
Okay. Hear me now. Believe me later, folks.
We're going to look it up.
Yeah, but the controls, I think, are really an achievement. You were mentioning about how like the hardware was very limited for the time. The NES was like not the most powerful thing going at this time either. I mean, a lot of folks, when the NES was first revealed at trade shows, people kind of laughed at it. They thought it was kind of a joke because they were used to like home computer systems that were coming out, things like that.
They wanted more Zorg.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Give me more text-based adventure games.
Oh, Zork. You're thinking of Zork.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
I said Zorg, which is the bad guy from Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger.
Right.
I'm sorry about that.
Which is also something that's amazing that maybe we'll do a podcast about that someday.
I would love to watch every single episode of Buzz Lightyear Star Command and talk about it on this podcast with you. I bet there's some deep lore. Patrick Warburton voiced Buzz Lightyear, I think.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I think. I could be remembering
Patrick
wrong.
Warburton.
But yeah, Tim Allen didn't want to do it because he's too expensive or something. And Patrick Warburton, who is a much better voice actor.
He's so good. He has such a great voice.
I could be wrong, but I think that's accurate.
All right, we're changing formats, folks. From now on, this is
episode 1 of Buzz Lightyear Star Command. Let's go.
This is the Warburton cast.
Patrick, call me. I love you.
So
I will go with you to whatever. Oh, now I can't remember the band. He loves a band. Oh, dang it.
Have you seen a series of unfortunate events on Netflix?
Who sings Yellow Lead better?
I don't know. But you should watch the shows that I just said because he's on it.
I want to watch it. I watched the first episode.
So are you?
Yeah, he plays Lemony Snicket.
He plays Lemony Snicket.
Have you seen Men in Black 2?
Yes.
He plays an agent in that. He's great.
He is good. Are you ready for some firsts for this stage, Aaron?
Please.
This is the first appearance.
Hang on. Paratroopers.
That's right. We got the Koopa Paratroopa.
Yes.
And we haven't really mentioned it so far, but every Koopa we've seen up till now has been green. This is the first stage where we see the red Koopa Troopa.
Which is terrifying.
It's horrifying.
It frightens me to my core because I have played lots and lots of Mario Kart over the years, and I keep expecting those Koopa Troopas, when I knock them into their shells, to hone in on me and knock me into 8th place.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because the red Koopa Troopas are more difficult than the green ones.
Explain.
Here's how they're described in the manual. This turtle is chicken, very timid. He gets scared easily and runs back and forth a lot. So that's kind of an obtuse way of saying that the red Koopa Troopa will not just walk off the edge of a platform. He will actually change directions. And he's known to kind of like, once you stomp on him, when he hits the ground, he might change direction to like go towards Mario. So
he's not chicken. He's tactical.
Right.
He's not suicidal.
Yeah, exactly. He won't just kill himself. Whereas the green Koopa Paratroopa is described as follows. A bit out of control. He wings around aimlessly and corners you all of a sudden.
He's a party dude.
He's a party dude. Yeah, he's like Michelangelo.
My boy, Mikey.
Whereas the red Koopa Paratroopa, he's described as
Leo.
This turtle is under control, much like Leonardo.
Leonardo, the turtle. Yeah.
So anyway, we've got flying Koopas.
Welcome to the Ninja Turtles podcast.
This is the Turtles cast, episode 1 of the Turtles cast.
We absolutely should do that, just so you know.
That's all the first for this level, though. Well, first athletic stage. We said that already.
First athletic stage.
First mushroom platforms.
Can I mention something that I noticed for the first time in this stage? Mario and Super Mario have different jump sounds.
Do they?
Yes.
I never thought about that before.
Mario jump sound is a little higher pitched than Super Mario's.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I noticed it for the first time in this level, and it struck me. I was like, "Whoa, hey, that's a nice attention to detail. I like it a lot."
I believe their jumping physics are actually slightly different.
Really?
Small Mario versus Super Mario.
Huh.
I believe that's true. I'm not sure on the specifics. I think maybe Small Mario can jump slightly higher in some circumstances.
You keep talking about high jumps. I don't believe that. I think that they can jump the same height, and I think that whether you're running or not, they jump the same height.
Well, you know what? We'll look it up. We'll see who's right.
We should look it up because
we'll be back in episode 4 to see who's right about
hash
that.
This out right now. No, I'm not sure that I necessarily. I don't know, man.
I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I don't want to like double down and be wrong later, but we'll look it up.
But you are anyways. You're doubling down right now.
How about some history? You ready for some history, Aaron?
Yes, please.
So given that this level is so athletic, I thought it would be interesting to look at other somewhat athletic games that came before this. Mario was not the first platform game. There were other platform games that came before it, although this one in many ways was unique and trailblazing. But one game that came before this was Pitfall. I'm sure you've heard of Pitfall.
As soon as you said it wasn't the first platforming game, my mind went to Pitfall.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I haven't played too much of the original Pitfall.
I've only played it. I think there was, I can't remember what game it was, but some game, more modern game gave you the opportunity at some point to play Pitfall. I can't remember what it was. It's going to drive me crazy. But yeah. I've only played it via another game.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those that like is like maybe an unlockable.
Yeah. It's an Easter egg and it lets you play it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Pitfall I think was kind of a seminal game in a lot of ways. It wasn't side-scrolling; it was a multi-screen game. Mm-hmm. Like you would exit one screen and then enter the next screen. But yeah, I mean, it was.
Yeah, I never really thought about the distinction, but yeah, I guess side-scrolling versus fair enough.
For sure, yeah. You would, you'd jump around, you'd jump over pits and stuff, and swing, I guess, and
get eaten by crocodiles.
Yeah, usually. I think that's what happened to most folks that played that game. But yeah, I think when we think of like athletic games and like jumping around from screen to screen, Pitfall was really one of the first ones.
Oh, definitely. I think that would, we're all forgetting about E.T., the extraterrestrial. But,
oh boy.
But
oh boy.
That was a mixture. That was very much so like Link's Adventure, where it was a mixture of top down and 2D levels. But no, yeah, Pitfall, I'm sure had a big influence on this because you got the crocodiles versus turtles. You got the
right. You're on an adventure. You're in the wilderness, in the jungle. There's trees and stuff, and giant plants.
I'm definitely talking about out of my ass here, but all those people. The people designing games played popular games back there.
Right,
back then. And Pitfall came before Mario, and so I'm sure that there was some influence on it there.
Oh yeah, they knew about it for sure.
Yeah, there's no way they could have. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned E.T. because another thing I wanted to touch on for history today, and this is probably something we'll come back to a lot. Aaron, are you familiar with the great North American video game crash of 1983?
I am not too intimately familiar with it, but I do know of it and the Atari crash and all that, and how Nintendo basically saved the video game industry.
That's a pretty good quick and dirty summary. I mean, this is a topic that folks who are into gaming are kind of fascinated by this topic and talk about it a lot. Folks who aren't into gaming have probably never heard of it.
Yeah, that's accurate, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you haven't heard of this before, it's okay. I mean, it's kind of an obscure thing, but in 1983, video games in North America almost completely disappeared. Mm-hmm. A lot of it was because of a game that Aaron just referenced, E.T. for the Atari. Kind of a really notoriously awful licensed game.
It was based on one of the most popular movies ever to come out. A Steven Spielberg directed fantastic movie that scared me like nothing else.
It's horrifying.
It's terrifying. I was traumatized as a child, but it was a great movie. I can say that it was a great movie, and it was directed by one of the most popular directors in all of history, and they made a god-awful, terribly constructed, horrifically controlled, monstrously terrible game that deserved to be buried in a dump in California somewhere, or Arizona, probably on a nuclear
Alamogordo,
testing site.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Yeah, New Mexico. And it deserved to be there. And it almost killed the gaming industry because it was so bad.
Atari paid an arm and a leg for this license, and then they made the game in 6 weeks, which is what you did back then, and they printed like 3 million copies of this game sight unseen, just assuming it would sell because of the license. And of course it was terrible. They ended up burying like every unsold copy of this, like Aaron just mentioned, in a landfill in Alamogordo,
I think there's a documentary about it. Like there's a documentary about searching for those games. I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, it's out there.
Yeah, this is kind of an infamous thing. Even if you're not into gaming, you might have heard of this ET fiasco.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was part of what led to the great video game crash of 83. The market was oversaturated. Computers were becoming more accessible. It just kind of seemed like home console games like the Atari were kind of on the way out.
It's kind of amazing that Atari is still around.
It really is.
Considering how they almost single-handedly destroyed the video game industry.
It's really true.
I'm not complaining. Atari's made some really good games over the years, especially after E.T.
Yeah.
But it's kind of shocking that they're still around considering the damage they did.
I know, yeah. I think maybe just like the brand was so ubiquitous and powerful that people still had some recognition for it. But yeah, I mean, Nintendo, the NES, and this game especially really kind of revived an industry that had really been floundering.
Go Mario.
Go Mario.
Go Mario, go. And I don't know about the app. The app might be fine, but that's not what I refer to.
Super Mario Run.
Yeah, that's it.
I've heard it's pretty fun. I haven't
Pokemon
really played
Go's
too much.
fun. I enjoy Pokemon Go. Who wants to play with me?
Well, would you like to Pokemon Go to the lore corner?
Not after that. No. No, let's try.
Too bad.
Let's try that again.
Too bad.
Oh,
it's
no.
lore corner time.
No, me too.
I've just got one question for the lore corner today, Aaron.
Okay.
But I think we're going to have a lot of good convo about this. Where are Mario and Luigi from?
The Bronx. Oh, come on. Wait, hang on. They're star children. They're from space. Well, no, they're star children. I read that. They're star children, and so's Wario, and so's Peach. Hang on. They are from Tokyo. Oh, come on. How is that wrong?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
Apparently.
Okay.
Well, so
I thought they were from New Donk City.
There's some conflicting sources on this one, but Mario, of course, speaks with an Italian accent, voiced by a longtime Mario voice actor Charles Martinet, who also voices Luigi, for that matter. But
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Wario too, I think, and probably Waluigi as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he's all over the place. But
he's a talented voice actor.
Very talented.
Respect, bro.
Respect. Salute. They're from Brooklyn, New York. This is, notoriously portrayed in the Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Also, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, which I was a big fan of as a child.
Swing your arms from side to side. Come on. Do the Mario. We're going to get pinged for that. I'm sorry.
Mario, of course, was portrayed by the famous Captain Lou Albano on that program. R.I.P. Rest in power. However, there are conflicting sources on this. If you've played Yoshi's Island, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, Mario and Luigi are apparently delivered by a stork to a house in the Mushroom Kingdom.
So they were stolen as babies from the Bronx.
Well, in
from Brooklyn, excuse me.
There's like a Yoshi's New Island on the DS where I guess it's revealed that those aren't really their parents. It's all very unclear. I mean, I'm going with Brooklyn on this one. I think there's enough sources that say they're from Brooklyn and that they maybe traveled through pipes somehow to the Mushroom Kingdom.
Who says they're from Brooklyn? The movie.
Yeah.
Says they're from Brooklyn.
Yes.
What else?
Super Mario Brothers Super Show. And
the 2 live action ones.
And their Italian accents.
That doesn't say they're from Brooklyn. It says they're from Italy.
Well, it says they're from our world. Like they're not from some fantasy world.
No, I mean, they all speak English. That's not really everyone speaks English. That's not really a confirmation that they're from our world.
I don't know. I'm just saying,
the 2 live action ones say that they're from Brooklyn. Everyone else says that they're star children born in outer space or something like that.
Oh, where are you getting this star children?
They're star children. From? It's a thing.
Where is this from?
Look it up. Look up Mario star children.
We'll look it up later.
Okay, we'll look it up later.
We'll look it up when we look up how high
Mario,
their jump
Luigi,
height is.
Peach, Wario, Waluigi, and like Yoshi's or something. They're star children. They have special powers. That's why they can do all the things they can do.
I don't know. I like to believe that Mario is everyman, that all of us can strive to attain the athletic ability that an overweight man from Brooklyn has.
We can't.
If we went down a pipe, if you try hard enough
Listen,
to go down a
I've
pipe,
tried to shove myself down many a pipe.
You just didn't try hard enough. Listen up, listeners. If you try hard enough to go through a pipe into a fantasy dimension, you too can achieve the greatness that Mario and Luigi achieve.
Look, I read online that they're star children, okay? And there's like pictures and stuff. I'm just saying that they can do things that no one from human being Earth can. And they go to New Donk City and all the humans are different shapes. So there's no way they're from Brooklyn.
That's true. The New Donk City thing is kind of strange.
Yeah.
But
which isn't Earth. New Donk City isn't Earth, but I'm just saying that like
is it not Earth?
It's not Earth. There's no place on Earth called New Donk City.
Well, not yet. Maybe Mario takes place
he's
in
from the future. Maybe he's a time traveler. Maybe. I mean, they are hyper evolved. Bowser's just a hyper evolved dinosaur, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. Yeah, according to Super Mario Brothers the movie, that's the case.
Oh no!
But if we're going by Super Mario Brothers the movie,
they're from Brooklyn.
They're from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. I concede. No, I don't. I don't concede anything.
Well, you know what? Maybe this is one that we need to dig deeper into.
We're gonna do a deep dive. I'm telling you, they're star children.
Listeners,
they're basically Superman.
If you have thoughts on this, if you have some canonical source you can point us to, let us know. We're very conflicted.
Hey, Shigeru, call me.
Give us a buzz.
Let me know.
We'll put you on the pod.
Well, yeah, come on the pod. Come on the pod, and we'll play some video games together, and you can tell us all about it as we play your game, and I die a bunch of times.
Well, Aaron, do you have anything else that you want to say about stage 1-3 of Super Mario Brothers?
It was fun. It was challenging, and I loved it. I loved it.
Great stage. Like I said, my favorite stage of World 1. Very creative, so fantastic. When we get to the next stage and the next episode of this program, we are going to see the first castle of Super Mario Brothers, and perhaps our first encounter with Bowser, the king of the Koopas himself.
Our hero. The
real hero.
He's a good man. He's a good Koopa.
The people's hero.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for listening.
Follow us on all the Twitters and Facebooks and everything. We will see you next time for episode 4 of One Stage at a Time. We love you.
We love you so much. Bye-bye.